What is up, guys? It's Super Electivire here, and I'll be bringing you my second ever QQAA. For those of you who don't know, this is like I said, this is my second ever QQAA. So, QQAA stands for Quik Quik Ability Analysis. So, today's Quik Quik Ability Analysis will be Levitate. Levitate is a very competitively viable ability introduced in Generation 3. 33 Pokemon get this ability, in which they are immune to all ground-type moves, except
Sand attack, spikes, toxic spikes, misty terrain, grassy terrain, electric terrain, arena trap, and damage from Skydrop. Doesn't work if holding the Iron Ball, or effects of gravity, after using Ingrain, getting hit by Smackdown, or if the opponent has Turbo Blaze, Terrible, or Mold Breaker.
competitively, you get to be immune to a whole bunch of icky stuff. Earthquake is incredibly common, and you get to be immune to all of them, besides the ones coming from, like, Excadrill, for example. Also, you aren't hit by spikes or toxic spikes, which can be very useful on the switch-in. The terrain moves are not common at all, so they don't matter too much, but it always helps. In addition, Smackdown is very uncommon, and Gravity is very uncommon as well, but, you know, they all help. Also, Skydrop is uncommon. But yeah, any potential benefits are always good. Being able to avoid Arena Trap is also incredibly handy, so you don't get trapped, in which those can ruin your sets. Also, Ingrain makes it not work. But out of all Levitate Pokemon, only Carnivine has access to Ingrain. Good thing is that 1, you will probably never ever use Carnivine. And 2, Carnivine don't normally use Ingrain. However, you could get Ingrain with Baton Pass. If you are Baton Passed in Ingrain, then make sure you are aware that your Levitate will no longer work while you have that Ingrain. And finally, Turbo Blaze and Terravolt from the Kyurem forms won't matter too much, as they don't run ground moves. The only things to worry about are from those Mold Breaker Pokemon, Sykes, some common ones are Pinsir before it Mega Evolves, Mega Gyarados, and Excadrill. Those are like the most common ones I'd say that you'd see in like standard OU formats. If you're playing like UU or something, you might have to look it up and stuff. But yeah, those are the common ones. As for which Pokemon you should be using Levitate on, 31 out of those 33 Pokemon who get Levitate only get Levitate. So there isn't that much choice, is there? So I'll just mention a few though. First off, we have the Pokemon in which Levitate eliminates your weakness. So, for example, if you are a Poison type, for example, and let's just say, you know how Poison types are weak to ground? Well, Levitate makes you immune to ground, so you'd be a Poison that is immune to ground. Essentially, you're eliminating a weakness. So some of these Pokemon are Weezing, Gengar, Rotom, Lunatone, Solrock, Bronzong, and Electros. These Pokemon really have to watch out for the Mold Breaker Pokemon, because they have a weakness to Earthquake. And Pinsir, Mega Gyarados, and Excadrill all get Earthquake. And then we have the Bronzong's evolutionary line. Now, Bronzong is a little bit interesting. It's a Steel Psychic Pokemon that has access to 3 different abilities, which is quite different from all the other Levitate Pokemon where they only get 1. The first ability that they get is Levitate. The second is Heatproof, and its hidden ability is Heavy Metal. Now, Levitate and Heatproof will both benefit Bronzong a heck ton more than Heavy Metal, as Bronzong is a walling or defensive Pokemon. And the ability to negate a weakness is very beneficial to a Pokemon with this kind of role. Most of the time, you'll be using Levitate, as Levitate makes you immune to damage instead of Heatproof's effect of making fire moves only do 50% damage. However, Heatproof can take many opponents by surprise, as most people run Levitate. But after they hit you with 1, maybe 2 fire moves, it's going to be obvious, so then they'll just start spamming the ground moves. And the reason why you don't want to use Heavy Metal is that it doesn't negate a weakness, and Heavy Metal doesn't give them any good benefits. So, if anything, it just raises the damage from certain moves. And now for some trivia. Almost all Pokemon with Levitate can take part in Sky Battles. However, it is pretty interesting, because Sky Battles are pretty warped. Because the Pokemon that touch the ground cannot take part. So I don't get it, honestly. So for example, Gengar gets the ability to levitate, but they aren't levitating at all. The in-game animation shows them touching the ground, which is ironic also because he can't take part in Sky Battles, but its pre-evolutions, Ghastly and Haunter, can take part in Sky Battles. So Once you evolve, you can no longer take part in this, so why would you want to evolve? But while we're on the topic of sky battles, another thing I don't get is that it is a battle in the sky, but if you notice the in-game animations again, most Pokemon would levitate like 2 inches off the ground during battle. Also, some floating Pokemon like Beedrill or Mew, they aren't flying, and they don't have levitate. But that doesn't really make sense, because like they look like they're flying, and if they're flying, then they should be able to participate in sky battles, right? Because Gengar is not flying, or Gengar has levitate, but it levitates off the ground, so it should be, but it can't take part in sky battles, so yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Furthermore, some flying types can't even take part in sky battles. Certain birds like Starly, Spearow, Pidgey, Murkrow, Shaman Sky, and Fletchling, they don't even have access to sky battles because they land on the ground. What the heck? Even more confusing is the fact that some Pokemon who get fly can't even participate in sky battles. Like Mew gets fly. Giratina does too, but only Origin form can participate in sky battles because only the Origin form is levitating off the ground. In addition, other Pokemon that can fly include Golurk, Volcarona, and Genesect. Like what? Also, you can use Roost and Rest in the air. How does this even make sense? In the games, sky battles are often depicted to be like in a clearing of sky with no branches or anything to roost on. Do you like fly down to the ground or something? Like, also, how do you fall asleep in the sky? To keep those weird facts coming, Flygon, who is a ground type, not only gets levitate, but it can also participate in sky battles. So it's a ground type, which sort of means it's on the ground, but it floats in the air, which kind of contradicts itself. And it can participate in sky battles, which is pretty interesting. So I guess ground types can fly. And finally, god of all Pokemon, Arceus, can learn fly. First off, how the heck does this thing get fly? Like, really, it doesn't even have wings or anything. And like, second of all, why does only the flying form get to join the sky battles? The only thing that happens is basically like a color change. So the color change decides whether or not you can join sky battles or not. Like, this is the god of all Pokemon. Besides, Pidgeot, Helix Fossil, those. Hashtag Pokemon logic, guys. Sky battles are really weird. Anyways, now that we're all mind blown with those facts that everybody already knows, let's just move on. First off, it's cool because Shedinja's Wonder Guard essentially protects it from ground-type moves as well. Doesn't get all the benefits of Levitate, but it's still pretty interesting to know that there's another ability that gives immunity to ground moves similar to Levitate. Also, I understand that Sand Attack is very easy to understand how a Pokemon with Levitate is hit by it, but like, why not other moves? Moves like Bone Club, Mud Shot, Mud Slap, and others make me want to just like facepalm. Just take a look at Bonemerang's description. For example, it states, the user throws the bone it holds. The bone loops to hit the target twice, coming and going. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure you can throw a bone into the air. There are also 3 Pokemon in the Pokestar Studios who have this ability, Levitate. Bryson Man, UFO, and UFO 2 get this. A flying man. Yep, guys. Yep. And finally, you have that famous air balloon Rotom Fan. Rotom Fan is an electric flying type. It's a 2-type Pokemon like all the Rotom forms. However, like all the Rotom forms, it has the ability to levitate. Therefore, levitate is like completely useless because flying already negates that levitate weakness. That's why with the introduction of the air balloon in Generation 5, people just joked around and said it was needed because it already is receiving 2 useless flying immunities. It doesn't need 2, it only needs 1. So why not just give it another one, In fact, Smogon's random battle to even give you that exact set as a joke, Levitate plus flying plus air balloon. Competitively viable, huh? Check this out. I don't think they're that viable if they're running air balloon Rotom fan. Maybe next time Game Freak's gonna come up with a steel poison type, with the ability immunity. Or something like that, Well, that's the end of this QQAA. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed. Click that subscriber button and the like button, and don't forget to comment what should be the next QQAA. If you like one, definitely just thumbs up their comment to record your vote on theirs. You could also like other people's, but also comment your own. I would please ask you guys to just, comment one ability. I'm not going to be too strict on this, but you could definitely like other people's abilities and comment your own. So, yeah. In addition, do not thumbs up your own, please. I'm going to rely on honesty. But, yeah, if it's only one thumbs up or 2 thumbs up, I probably will consider it, but that does not mean that I will probably get it. But, yeah, if there's any tiebreakers, I'll just do it myself. So, thanks so much, guys, for watching, and see you later.